Welcome to the Supplement Engineer Podcast, the officially unofficial supplement-centric podcast of the number one ranked LSU Fighting Tigers of Louisiana
Oh
State
my God,
University.
that's right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. I forgot about that.
At least in one poll, and we're number one for at least another week and a half until we have to play Bama in Bama.
Right. I mean, this is just it's typical of a fan that they haven't won a title in a while. When you bring up that you're number one in week, what is it, 8 or 9?
Yeah.
I stopped keeping track. So at least you're still keeping track. You have me. Although it is Florida State week, we play Florida State this week.
That's a big game. We're on a bye this week, so it'll be good. I'll have a meaningful football game to watch.
Why is there another?
Because y'all are both ranked, right? Aren't y'all both?
I was gonna say meaningful. I don't know. You know what? It's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game because they're both absolute shit shows of coaching ineptitude. So that always makes for an interesting game.
Yeah. Or do you think either of those coaches will get fired at the end of the season, given the state of the programs?
They won't fire Manny Diaz after one season. I would say Willie Taggart's had a couple of years. He probably, I could see him. He's got a huge buyout though, massive, unbelievable buyout.
Yeah.
Because that's what Miami fans do. We make sure that we check up on them to make sure they keep him around.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want him to stay because he's so bad.
Yeah.
And then, but Miami, I can't see them getting rid of Manny Diaz after one season, especially because they keep messing around. They beat Virginia and they beat Pitt,
right?
Like the two top teams in there, and I was watching the game last week. I was like, great, you're gonna beat Pitt, awesome, for no reason.
Pitt's one of those wily teams. They will stun Clemson every couple of years or something like that, or if they play an out of conference game against Ohio State or Oklahoma, they're always good for they're one of those teams that just kind of sneak up on you out of nowhere.
They beat Miami after Miami crushed Notre Dame, and they were number 3 or 4 in the BCS standings or whatever, and Pitt beat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're always one of those teams.
Yep. So that's what we're doing. 3:30 on Saturday, watching Florida State Miami. It's not quite what it used to be, but
still the rivalry. So there'll still be some
watch.
Bad blood there. So what did the gods of the mail deliver you this week?
Yeah. So I finally get to talk about. I got the Olympus Labs protein. I'm trying to think, what else did I get? Did I have Alpha Lion last week?
I think you had just gotten it, but you had not used it yet.
The Jason juice?
Yeah, it arrived basically as we ended the podcast, so we had not tried it yet.
So I got that, and I got the Olympus Labs stuff, and I think that's it. Mm-hmm. Slow week this week must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Olympus Labs protein, I know that's been the hot topic, is the Olympus Labs rebrand. I would say rebrand is, a lot of times we see companies and they do rebrands or they, change up they really changed.
Yeah,
they really aggressively changed up.
I mean, originally they were this hardcore, Olympian gods, demigods themed thing. They had hardcore products. They did some pro hormone stuff. They did very well dosed formulas. The formulas have always been fairly, well put together. They know what they're doing from a formulation standpoint. The evolution of the product design and the direction of the company, I don't understand it, because when you think Olympus, you think the Olympians, you think Zeus, Hera, all the mighty gods that surrounded Mount Olympus. What does that have to do with their current marketing? I mean, Olympus has no connotation whatsoever with lifestyles. The Olympian, the Greek gods, none of that has anything to do with their current branding. And I would have, if you can keep making the formulas the same, but don't even associate Olympus with their current style, because it's just two separate things entirely for me.
Yeah, and I think that's, we've seen a lot of companies, I think you and I have discussed, like Inspired, for example. They haven't gone in a drastic shift. They've just gradually started to focus. But when you hear Inspired, right, and you see that sort of accommodates everything. It's just, right, we talk about the lifestyle thing. I don't want to beat that. But this is like Olympus Labs, right? But at least, so they changed the labs to lifestyle. And then that's going to be the thing, man, is is that going to, because the products we know for the market, like what you were just saying, they've always had good formulas,
Mm-hmm.
and the proteins are very good. They're very good tasting, but is that going to ultimately land for people? Because we know more than anything anymore. So their protein flavors are great. So I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
got 50 of them sitting here that are great tasting protein powders. They're not doing anything new, right?
Right.
The fruity cereal one is awesome, but
Mm-hmm.
there's 20 fruity cereal ones on the market that are awesome. So is the brand, is what they're doing going to connect with people enough that people are going to want them in the first place and then stick around and keep buying them? I just don't know. I just don't know, man. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about them. They're great guys. They've always been super supportive of us. I will always
Mm-hmm.
be indebted to them for what they did for me at the beginning of Supplement Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to just, to me, it doesn't line up. Like maybe they're just kind of not sure what exactly to do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's the vibe that I get. But then again, we're not like the average consumer that shops on bodybuilding.com. So I don't know how it's going to land.
Yeah, and it just the packaging we saw at the beginning of 2019, when we first heard about the levels and No Mercy pre-workout at that time, the labels were completely different. It had this EDM feel like you and I have talked about before. And to pivot to this, now the labels look like, I don't know, a combination of Pokemon and Yo Gabba Gabba went on a bender and had babies, and now it's all this neon colored shit. And I don't, it looks kiddie, or I don't understand the demographic it's trying to reach. It looks kiddie, but the ingredients aren't for kids. So there's this massive disconnect here, and I don't understand. It seems like your average guy is not going to go for these kind of labels.
Yeah, and it does play into it. And when I saw, so I got the protein a while ago before I had actually seen the labels of the rest of the products.
Yeah.
And the protein labels, I was like, okay, it's but once I saw the actual products,
Mm-hmm.
like the No Mercy and stuff, that was when I was like, wow, this is, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't know if it's going to land. Like I said, I think they're exactly like what you're saying too. Sure, the products will deliver, but who is this for? Do the people that are into that lifestyle thing, do they really care? Do those people really care about formulas? Because I think why Olympus Labs was always so successful is you have a niche that you're going after. Those people want great formulas.
Mm-hmm.
They want great products, and they always delivered innovation. They would use ingredients that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily use, whether it was good or bad. Um, and they nailed it. I mean,
Yeah.
everything about Olympus Labs, I thought that vibe they were going for, they really had that down pat. Like that was it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that people that are into this lifestyle stuff really care about. Like one of their products I think had like S7 and Vaso 6, I
Mm-hmm.
think, in it. And I don't know if people, I mean, people that are going to be after this, I don't know, do they care?
No,
Do they
they're not
care?
going to understand what it does or anything. It's going to take a tremendous amount of education on their part, but I don't know. The
Well, like,
branding just it falls way off the radar for me, and it's if I was just a consumer, just going off my personality, I'm not attracted to the labels. Now, they're probably not going for somebody my age or my demographic or whatever. They're probably playing to a much younger audience, but even when I was in college, something like this would come off as more of a joke to me than something that I would seriously consider, because I don't go for bright colors and flashy things or slick fonts and all of that stuff.
well, and I'm looking at bodybuilding.com.
Mm-hmm.
So the description of, I'm looking at No Mercy, right?
Yeah.
And if you look in one scoop, there's 1 gram of Pico 2, right? There's 3 grams of citrulline. There's
Mm-hmm.
150 of Vaso 6. There's 25 of S7s. So there's 12.5 Canna. So this is clearly, that's half dose,
Yeah, it's a
right?
40
That's half.
20 one. Yeah.
Well, in the description of the product, it says 6 grams citrulline, 3 grams taurine, 2 grams Pico 2 in every serving. And that's not true. So
Ah, that's well put.
yeah,
Yeah.
because one serving is one scoop. Serving size one scoop. So
Yeah.
that should be in 2 servings.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man.
Hmm.
I just, like I said, I've always talked about how they are really good for the industry because of how aggressively they do certain things. They're willing to try new things. Moby, I've had great conversations with Moby. I don't really understand. I don't know. But at the same time, maybe it works. They're smart guys over there. But this to me is, and also probably because we know them so
Hmm.
well, and you've
Yeah.
seen them. So maybe we're a bit biased because a lot of people that have never seen them before are going in without knowing anything about them. Maybe they, you know, maybe they just don't think, like that. So we'll see. I mean, it's, it is an aggressive 180, for them, for
Yeah.
sure.
And just reading through some of the product copy, it seems it borders on being slightly redundant. If you look at the staying on the pumps one, it says Pico 2 is the GOAT ingredient for physically active people and high intensity athletes. Go down to Nordic Cherry. Nordic Cherry is the GOAT ingredient for physically active people and high intensity athletes.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Wow, it does say that.
yeah. I yeah, I don't know about it's. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know.
Well,
And
and
then
then
in
so
Vaso
if
6,
you're
I don't has Vaso 6 actually been shown to increase endurance and recovery? I mean, in theory, it should do that by increasing blood flow and
sure.
nitric oxide, but we don't have any human data for exercise performance that's been published yet. Maybe there's some unofficial stuff that Compound has, but I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, and that's the other kind of the other thing is too. Is so when you have like this description for Vaso 6 contains, gallate enhanced oligomers scientifically documented as significantly enhanced. Are the people that are buying this from bodybuilding.com, does that mean anything to them?
No, you, me, and the other 2%ers understand that.
I don't know. It just feels confused to me. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't I shouldn't have to feel like I keep qualifying it, but I am a huge fan of what they do. Huge fan.
Yeah,
This just feels confused. Just feels
yeah.
confused, but it's good to see them. It's good to see them back in the game. I think we've seen so much keto and food and stuff like that. It's always good when Olympus Labs is making products, I think.
Yeah. Their protein blend. We were talking about this just before that we got on the call, and let's dive into it a little bit more. So it says a 4-stage protein blend, and the fifth stage is their digestive enzymes. So we've got it's a fully disclosed lineup of protein, so we'll give them credit for that. That's good.
Hmm.
There's a few other companies that do that on the market. I wish more companies would do that have blends, but that this
Yep.
is a good step in the right direction. So props to them for doing that. 11.5 grams of WPI 90 whey protein isolate, 5.5 grams of WPC 80 whey protein concentrate, 2 grams of hydrolyzed whey protein, and 6 grams of micellar casein. Um, I I think they just included the hydrolysis in there just so they could say they have 4 different sources of protein in there. I don't think 2 grams is going to be doing fuck all of anything. If anything, I'd rather see 2 grams of egg protein so you get that other digestion speed in there, because the digestion difference, the speed of difference in digestion between hydrolysis, isolate, and concentrate is virtually nothing. A lot's made of it in the marketing hype, but when you look at the actual
Right.
research and the speed of digestion, it's virtually all the same. And there's no
Right.
actual tangible benefits in terms of muscle recovery, decreased soreness, or muscle growth when comparing concentrates versus hydrolysis, or really even caseins either. Um,
Yeah, I like that, because in their last, I really liked the direction of their last protein powder when they did, it was a concentrate casein blend
right.
and just split half and half.
Hmm.
I'm like, that's cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like that a lot.
But, yeah, but, and like, to what your point also, and it's something I've been trying to talk to people about a lot. When you see these blends of, say, 6 different protein sources, in theory, a company could make claims that this is good, right? Because you're hitting this
Yeah,
digestion rates and absorption rates and stuff like that. But when you're having 6 forms or 8 forms, I've seen some, and you still just have 25 grams of protein, and then is that really is 2 grams or 1 gram or 500 milligrams or God knows what, as we've seen in certain products. Does that even do anything? You
Right.
know? So at least they do disclose the information. It's not disclosed on the actual ingredient label, but it is disclosed on the tub itself. There's a lot of information, which was
Hmm.
they also did on their last protein, is they put a ton of information on the actual label, which is
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Gives people a chance to look at it. But yeah, because they also include, I think on the peanut butter one, they include peanut flour as a form of protein, but it's only 1 gram also.
Yeah. And I mean, that's going to be given more flavoring than, because if you have 1 gram of peanut flour, that's probably what, half a gram of protein and half a gram of fiber, if that.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. What do you think of the decision to go exclusive with bodybuilding.com? Now, Olympus has been a longtime board sponsor of Anabolic Minds. So now they're jumping to being on the
Oh yeah.
bodybuilding.com store.
Yeah.
So I wonder,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
yeah.
I honestly, man, like I know people within the industry that still talk about bodybuilding.com and
Hmm.
that they're a huge account, but I just don't see how. I think bodybuilding.com is like the GNC of the supplement industry where it's afloat, but
Yeah.
not really, but not relevant. Like I just don't and I know yes, I've changed like where I buy from and stuff like that, but I think in the supplement industry, bodybuilding.com sort of like GNC had a really good purpose, but it has grown too much. It seems to me it has become, and I don't think people really use it. I think people would rather most people that are going to be going after stuff like this is just going to go to brick and mortar stores. Bodybuilding.com had its purpose, but I just don't. I don't know. It baffles me. And on one hand, I say to myself, I go, well, these guys are businesses, and obviously, they know what they're doing. But at the same time, I know that that's not true. So I
Hmm.
know 100% it is absolutely not true. So I don't know what their thought was just going with bodybuilding.com. I know it must have been something. I mean,
Yeah.
I I think they proved that their last brands and their last products were very popular in places like Natural Body Inc.
Hmm.
Things like that. So this is it's huge. I personally don't, I just don't like it.
Yeah. And I mean, just scrolling through the product copy again, and I know this is just nitpicking at this point. It's just, if I think it needs to be a little bit more carefully worded, just in terms if you're trying to approach, reach out to customers. It says teacrine is a slow acting relative of dynamine that boosts energy and focus. People don't know what the hell dynamine is. So most your average consumer isn't going to know what the hell teacrine is. It's also not going to know what the hell dynamine is. If you scroll down to the dynamine description, it says a fast acting relative of teacrine. So you're
Oh,
basically using one to describe the other. Why not base them off of caffeine? Because
right,
people know what the hell caffeine does, and so relating it
right.
that way, I think that would give it a little bit better to that. And then under the KSM, it says KSM is no regular adaptogenic. It's a powerful adaptogenic. So it's an adaptogen. Adaptogenic is an adjective. And it says it will leave you wanting to jump. Do you feel like you want to go jump and you're super energetic when you take adaptogens?
No,
No. I mean,
no.
rhodiola might be, but
Yeah,
KSM is like more of a modulator or an even outer.
yeah, and I think when you're if you do take some KSM, like say in the afternoon or something like that, it's not an energetic. You feel sort of better, but I've never felt that I wanted to jump
Yeah.
after. I just this just feels like it's this collision of a couple different brands
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like
still trying to figure themselves out or something.
there's like a kitty type brand vibe to it, but there's also this very scientific, very okay. We're going to use patented ingredients.
Hmm.
Um, I think like Redcon is a good example. Like they don't use any patent ingredients because their customers don't give a shit
Right.
about patent
Yeah.
ingredients. A lot of people do. So I think in a way, Olympus Lab seems to be abandoning the company, the people that really have built them up and
Hmm.
really appreciate their formulas in
Yeah.
favor of just some weird marketing. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
The,
it
the flavor names also sound kind of weird. Mango Bay. I I don't understand. And now, granted, I'm 34, so some of these slangs and phrases are gonna go over my head probably, or under
And then
my
since
feet.
I'm way older than you,
Yeah, I don't understand some of these.
yeah, so this is not our, but you know what?
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like, so, okay, these products maybe necessarily aren't targeted towards us, but they
yeah,
are based on the ingredients that they use.
right,
Um, so it's just, that's the best way I can describe it, is it just feels like a something that's confused.
right. Yeah,
Um, but decent formulas,
yeah,
especially when you're using the 2 scoops, and it's a good offer for bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com doesn't offer a whole lot of great products.
no. They've got the whole Muscle Farm line. What are you talking about?
I love me some Muscle Farm.
And Jim Stepani. I mean, Jim, that's their baby.
That's true. And then Chris Gethin,
Yeah,
which
you can get half doses of
he's
your creatine and betaine in both your pre and your post workout.
Chris is the master formulator. I think he talks about formulating his own products, right? And it's
Just like
like,
Jim.
okay, yeah, just
His
like
years
Jim.
of science in the gym.
Well, Jim is a doctor, so
He is. He is.
So I don't know, man. I guess we could talk about Olympus Labs all day long, but that's just my initial impressions. What I will say is, for the people that do listen, that do like Olympus Labs, the proteins are very good. So
Yeah.
if
Did
you
you
do
try
like them,
their superior protein? And if so, how does it
oh yeah,
compare flavor wise?
yeah, it's similar, but I will say it's much different. Like, a lot of people, what I really liked about the superior protein, I liked the flavors. It's a much thicker protein because it was the casein, but it wasn't like overly, like some of that casein powder is like sludge, which that's what I like.
Yeah.
But the texture is much different. The flavors are better, I will say. And I like the flavors of the other ones.
Yeah.
But their flavors are very good. It's a very high. You can tell it's a very high quality protein, and the flavors come off really good. I think if people can get past it and actually go and buy it, I think they'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
But we'll see if they revolt, because, like I said, the people that are fans of Olympus Labs already are not happy. I mean, I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people. They're like, "I'm not buying this shit," and
Yeah.
that's the truth.
And it's
So
a lot of the same thing. I mentioned the anabolic lines that they're pretty prominent on there. That's probably where their strongest user base is. And a lot of the people in the main Olympus thread in there are just saying that they don't understand the labeling, they don't like it. It seems like the brand is, alienating or just pivoting away from what got it to where it is today.
yeah,
So
which people don't like change, and so I'm like, okay, I respect that they're going a different direction.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw, when they were originally coming out with EDM vibe. That's what those guys are into EDM. They're EDM guys. They like that lifestyle, so it made sense.
Right.
And this just doesn't feel like them to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a confused kind of thing. But I hope it works out well for them. Like I said, that when they're successful, I think it's good for the industry. I think that they're aggressive, but although bodybuilding.com is going to keep that from happening. But it's always good to see good companies, sell products and make formulas. So I hope they do well. And like I said, I have no doubts that the effectiveness of the formulas will be
there. Yeah.
good for people. So it's like,
and it's BSCG certified, so it's okay for
right.
athletes, competitive athletes. So that's another high point for it too, which is good.
Yep. And that's cool that they went that route. I think I respect them for that.
Right.
We'll just see if anybody buys it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last point I will say on this, and then we can move on to another brand or another topic. At the bottom of the Stack 3D post on their No Mercy non-stim
oh
pump,
boy. Oh boy.
we
I
have a
haven't
comment
seen it.
from your boy that says, "What a joke! No mercy on stupidity and false advertising."
What a turd. God, that guy needs to get a fucking life. My God.
Yeah, it's pettiness at its finest.
What page are you on here?
It was just on click on the No Mercy write up on Stack 3D.
Maybe I missed it.
If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's got it there underneath the Aries banner.
Yeah, I missed it. No, I just totally missed it. What a joke. No mercy on stupidity and false advertising. What does that even mean, you idiot? What's false advertising?
Yeah.
That guy is a fucking joke. Anyway, that's funny.
Yeah. Along those lines, on a related topic, Sparta has unveiled their new labels as well. So
Jesus, I thought we were gonna try and talk like.
we'll get past the rough
Uh,
parts and then we'll get to the happy stuff. So we'll try to
Gotcha.
make this as a mostly positive podcast, but we'll do that on the back end.
I
So
I don't.
this is gonna be the same thing. So I'm gonna reiterate the point that I made with Olympus. Sparta was originally a hardcore company that did, the 2-stage pro hormone stuff, and it was built on becoming a Spartan. So obviously the Spartans, the 300s, the ones that stood up against Xerxes till the last man that fell. And now you've got these
Scratch and
bright
sniff.
colors, scratch and sniff, happy labels. It's probably in the same vein of another lifestyle brand. At this point, why still call yourself Sparta Nutrition? I understand you have the trademark name and you own the rights to it and all that, but at this point, the branding is not supporting the name of it. And so if you look on the picture that they have of the scratch and sniff thing, it's got this happy little guy smiling, and then it's got Sparta in some kind of swirly font on the picture, but none of that conveys what a Spartan is.
I think it's embarrassing.
It's not a
I
Spartan
think
lifestyle. It's not the military mindset, the warrior mentality. It's nothing like that. It's very kiddie or college age, tweener kind of thing.
I think it's just another ironic that this is right. Sparta and Olympus Labs have this,
Yeah.
family ties, and this is the direction that both of them are going in. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the profile for the new Sparta pre-workout. It looks solid, but which is, again, it's the same thing as Olympus. You've got solid products, but the labeling and the marketing it's too divergent for me to put together in my brain. Maybe I'm just not smart enough, or I'm not hip enough, or whatever. Oh, I know I'm not hip enough. I know that, but I can't. There's a disconnect there that's not working for me.
You were at the Compound Solutions party.
I
You're
am hip. There we go. Or at least Sandy is.
The
Sandy's my in ticket for that. I'm just a nerd. She's the one that gets out and then shakes her groove thing.
well, and so much of it anymore because there's so many options on the market. It's why Redcon is so successful. They kill it with their brand identity and connecting with their customers and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Despite what I think about them, they do well.
Yeah.
So a lot of it comes down to their connection with your customers, and I don't think that Sparta or Olympus Labs is really connecting with their customers with this direction.
Yeah.
Granted, they're after new customers, and that's good because the average person, that's just getting in supplements should have access to formulas like this rather than, being beaten down with Cellucor BPI at first. Of course, this is they're going to beat these people out, but I don't know that people are going to make that connection.
Right. I was just pulling up. So if you scroll down stacked, it says GFuel is bringing out some Halloween flavors. And so I clicked over to the GFuel website to see what in the hell is actually in this product. First off, the formula is shit. Just looking at it, the formula is crap. You got a 1.79 gram blend in their energy complex of taurine, citrulline malate, 140 milligrams of caffeine, glucuronolactone, and alcar.
So that's like a shitty energy drink.
Yeah, and then you got 1.2 grams. So it's supposed to be for gamers, obviously. It's 1.2 grams in their focus complex of tyrosine, choline bitartrate, and acetyl L-tyrosine, and ATP.
So can we just say that too, that these gaming supplements are really just shitty nootropic formulas? That's all they are.
Yeah, or they're shitty energy drinks, really. I mean, I don't even put nootropic. I mean, yeah.
They're basically like, right. They're maybe a slight step up from a bang because they do have a little bit of ingredients, but they're really just an embarrassing effort at the nootropic category.
Yes.
And
The labeling, but it almost reminds me, if you look at the labels and the flavors of them, it almost reminds me a little bit of the new Olympus look. Just with the colors of the fonts and the bold on certain things like that.
I still can't find a label.
Or go to gfuel.com and you'll see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm on there.
And scroll all the way down to the bottom. Just pick one of the flavors and scroll all the way to the bottom.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a steaming pile of turd.
That is bad.
But do you kind of get that same vibe? Like it's got that same kind of feel as the Olympus Lifestyle ones do now.
Yeah,
The colors and the way
and
it just I think it's too much for me for my eyes is what it is.
well, and honestly, like if you're gonna go this vibe, you're probably better off doing what they're doing here, just making some cheap shit ass formula because no one will know the difference,
Yeah.
than doing what Olympus Labs is doing by using like really high quality ingredients. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're gonna aim for the person that has literally no idea what the fuck they're taking, why even bother? Your margins are gonna be a lot better using some crap like GFuel.
Yeah.
But in GFuel makes sense, right? The energy formula, GFuel, people are like, oh, I get it. I can gain with this. And then there's no questions where it's like some of these other ones are just kind of confused efforts.
Agreed.
That's not
Agreed.
bad. These are bad products. Holy
Yeah.
crap. Let's
And they've been
talk.
around for years, and that's like one of the number one gaming supplements too.
Right, because they probably make incredible margins on these garbage ass formulas.
Yeah. And the flavoring's probably decent.
Well, let me segue real quick.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a product that is good. Alpha Lion Superhuman Supreme, rife with 350 milligrams of theanine, but this is a badass pre-workout.
That's the Jason juice.
Yeah, so the flavor is Jason juice. It's just a
Yeah,
limited,
Halloween themed things. Yeah.
but the product itself, it still has DMHA in it, so it's probably also going to be like a limited product. But I used this a few times. Damn,
Yeah.
yes. It is. It's probably the theanine in it.
So,
But it's funny because right, we know those guys pretty well. There,
yeah.
Jordan, especially over at there, is a great guy, and he jokes with me sometimes. He's like, "All right, man, we're gonna make one no theanine just for you,
Thank God.
just so you." But it probably needs theanine in it because it's so strong. But that goes back to the point where we're like, "Hey, just use less stims." But
Right.
that pre-workout, I can honestly say it's one of my favorites that's come out. I would say recently. That is a killer product.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 373 total caffeine split across caffeine and hydrogen Infinergy, 200 of the 2-amino-isoheptane, so one of the DMHA variants, 200 of the N,N-dimethylphenethylamine citrate, which is the pungent alkaloid, the really powerful one from Eridrensis, and then 75 of N-methyltyramine. So, yeah, in the words of Nick from Rage, it'll light your balls on fire.
But it's not horrible, where it's like
Yeah.
makes you it is so when I took it, every time I've taken it, I take it and I'm on my way to the gym and I don't feel like any of that stuff. Once I start to sort of get going into my workout, you really feel it just dial you in. And those are the products I really like, where it's like you don't necessarily feel it on the way to the gym.
Yeah.
You start to feel it increase as you're working out, and it really, I'm impressed. It's and I did also get I told you, Chris sent me the Devastate Worldwide. He sent me samples of that to try out too. But
have you tried that yet, or is that still on the back burner?
I have tried it. I don't know what's in it. I just trust Chris. I just trust him very much.
Yeah,
but
I've tried enough of his stuff over the years to I'll sign up for a sketchy bag from him.
Right. It is it's definitely a deviation away from right because they're going for worldwide compliance and stuff like that. So it's not a stim. Some of his devastates.
Yeah,
they're
too
been.
much. Yeah.
And this one, I think people are really gonna like it. It's very. I think it delivers exactly like what he was hoping for, where it's just okay. We can't make these hardcore stims. We're taking the yohimbines and we're taking the the DMHAs and these PEAs. We're not doing any of that stuff. So what ultimately are you left with? You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't leave much. So.
Caffeine, teacrine, dynamine.
I think people would be happy with it. But I did get to use a couple good pre-workouts lately. I got that one and Devastate and Alpha Lion.
Yeah.
But I see. So did you remember? So pumpkin pie flavor coming to Bomar.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this. And you said you tried some of their butter, right?
No, I have not tried any of their butters.
Oh, their lemon cookie, whatever, lemon cookie almond butter.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that thing is good.
Good stuff.
Oh my God, I love that. I love lemon stuff though, but
Lemon in desserts too, or just lemon stuff? Lemon everything. Do you like lemon?
I just like lemon everything. Like
Okay.
even like back in the day when you drink Gatorade, I'd be the
Yeah.
only person that would get like the lemon one. You know, they would.
Yeah, I like that one. My favorite was always Glacier Freeze
Mm-hmm.
or orange. I'm a sucker for orange too.
Yep, I do like the orange, but I always like the lemon. And they, you know, you kind of it's like lemon and almond butter, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We'll see. Pumpkin. That's the only one I tried though.
Gotcha. We ripped GFuel for being a shitty nootropic. I'm gonna bring up a good nootropic that I saw this week, and I sent it to you the other day.
Yes.
It's
yes.
CogniSurge by Jacked Factory. I remember trying their pre-workout, the original one, Altius.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been 4 years ago now, back in 2015, because I think I still tried it when we were living in Louisiana, and we left
that's
there.
been Amazon dominant for a long time.
Yeah, it was a great formula. I really liked it. And they've continued to grow the brand. It's and they've released some very, very well dosed formulas. And this one is priced really well too. It is 20 servings of a nootropic. You get 2 grams of L-tyrosine, 1 gram of lion's mane. So you're getting a 1-to-1 extract of the fruiting body and the mushroom extract. You're getting 300 milligrams of cognizin citicoline, which is the premium branded form of it. Most of the time you'll see 125 or 250. But we've seen doses in certain products as high as 500.
Mm-hmm.
We get 300 milligrams of KSM, 125 of caffeine anhydrous, 125 of L-theanine, 100 milligrams of dynamine, 100 milligrams of neurofactor, which is an ingredient I really like, and 50 micrograms of huperzine A. You get 20 servings for the extremely reasonable price, I would think, of $24.99 on their site, but I think it's even cheaper on Amazon. I think it's only $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, I got an email from them. It was like $20, and then you got like 4 products free with it or something like that. Yeah. That's a hell of a formula. I like that.
Yeah, very well priced. Now, I think they only typically use natural flavors in there. Oh, no, there's Ace K in this and sucralose. Okay, good. I was going to say, man, if that's stevia flavored, you are screwed.
Yeah, that would taste like shit.
Yeah, it would.
I like everything you just said. All those ingredients I like.
Yeah, I
will. Dosage is too. A gram of lion's mane. Not many people use a gram of lion's mane.
No, it's like 500 to 600 usually, if we will see that. I used to know a guy over there named John. I'm gonna have to see if I can get him on the podcast just to come talk about the brand, because I would love to see how the growth of this brand and the evolution of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I talked to them quite a bit a while ago. I haven't talked to them recently. They're Canadian, right? A Canadian brand. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. It's more competition for Moody and Mark.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think, yeah, but man, that's a good. All right, so we hit on this a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But so Performax released their nutrition profile for their whey protein.
Yes. And what do you think of it?
I mean, it's solid. What I would expect from Performax. I don't. These companies that wanna. I mean, we talked about this endlessly. I don't understand the desire to get into the protein game,
mm-hmm.
especially when you're going to include stuff like Velocitol, Digestimax. Like, people aren't going to switch, and this is the one flavor here that they're advertising is chocolate milk. Dude, I just don't see people giving up their proteins now to go switch to this. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think you'd have to understand Performax or be, a consumer already of Performax to go and try
mm-hmm.
out their protein powders. I mean, Performax doesn't have the marketing budget to go and take on Optimum or somebody like that. So they're not going to be taken off. They're going to have to just hopefully siphon off sales from people that already support the brand, that buy their protein from other companies, and then just get them to try and retain them all in one place. That can be the only thing I think of that would. We know
that protein margins aren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be, especially if you're a brand like Performax, like you're saying, they don't have the marketing budget. So why would you throw a huge chunk of your budget into making a protein powder?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
would, because they have good formulas.
Yeah. I love their nootropic formula. Nootropimax is. I have not been shy about saying how much I like that product.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I would never make a protein powder.
Yeah.
If I was just getting into it right now, I would never make a protein powder. No freaking way.
Yeah. They got 2 grams of velocitol, which is cool. They've got a digestive enzyme blend in there. Apparently, according to Aaron, when I talked to him, the mocha latte flavor is supposed to be the best of the 4, which is cool. We don't see a lot of mocha flavored protein, so that's a standout feature. But I would use that as the main advertising picture for it instead of just chocolate milk.
That was my favorite, actually, of the Olympus Lab, the Superior Protein. They had a mocha. It was called like Mocha Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was good. I love that flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's probably going to be an expensive product, and I just don't see why people would switch for this. They just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I like to fall back on the fact I was like, well, they know what they're doing, but then at the same time, I know that that's not true. So, and not meaning Performax, but just in general, these decisions that I see that these guys make and these women make, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Naughty Boy. Naughty Boy. This is a new UK brand. If you're going to name your supplement company Naughty Boy, it just seems like an amateur play at this point. If you're going to do something stupid like that.
So they're using 2 forms, the biophytum and juglans, that can yield DMHA, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they get around it.
Yep.
But we don't know how much. So
yeah, Juglans whole fruit at 300 milligrams, biophytum at 150 milligrams, 450 milligrams total of plants that contain DMHA. Who knows?
Right, and we have no idea.
Yeah, 350 caffeine, 3.2 beta-alanine.
The Alpha Zone, that's the one that Performax just used, right? The Alpha GPC that's supposed to like not clump.
Yeah, the shelf stable. Yep.
So that was the one that led to me losing my shit on the people that make Alpha Size. That was the conversation that led to it.
Can you recap us on that?
Well, we were talking about Alpha Zone, and what I said Alpha Zone. I was like, there's no difference between Alpha Zone and Alpha GPC. I said it's just supposedly something that doesn't clump. So whatever, that's fine. Performax wasn't saying it was.
Yeah.
Someone tagged me in it and made a comment. Well, I think the people that make Alpha Size just can't read. And they thought I was talking about there's no difference between Alpha Size and Alpha GPC. So they went on this huge, long, stupid rebuttal about, and then they talked about, well, it's Alpha Size is created in the beautiful hills of Italy where there's like luxury cars and all this other stuff. And I just responded to them. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, just read. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. And then they stopped responding to me. I was like, what does this have to do with anything? I was like, well, first of all, I wasn't even talking about Alpha Size.
Yeah.
So that was kind of one of those things where you have the copy and paste social media people, and then they should just not say stuff. So, but there's nothing wrong. I'm telling them, I was like, I think Alpha Size is a good thing. I think Alpha Zone, Alpha GPC, I love it all, man. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Shut up. I was like, I get it. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, one thing I don't understand is that on the label for this company, it's got glycericize as glycerol powder 65%. It says Juglans whole fruit is out allergen or nut allergen. And then it's got estrogen, tells you it's the astragalus and the panax nodo ginseng root extracts. Why doesn't it tell you what in the hell is going on with Alpha Zone? Why doesn't it say 50% Alpha GPC? That's I'm not a fan of that.
Yep, and also when you see biophytum, there's more to it that you need to know about biophytum. Whether it's like the root or I can't remember exactly, because it's standardized for something. Because InnovaPharm uses it.
Yes, they do
in their MV Pre, and there's a lot lacking on this label that I would like to see. I would like to see some explanation of some things.
Yeah.
But it seems like the ingredients that they're using are good.
Yeah.
Um, citrulline, 4 grams, 2 grams glycerol size, beta alanine, okay, whatever. Caffeine, that might be an energetic thing. And then when you have, I'm guessing it's going to be 300 milligrams of alpha GPC
Yeah.
and a gram of tyrosine, then
Yeah.
there's nothing like, but it could be, depending on how much DMHA you actually get, or, because honestly, man, I hear so much great stuff, and I like a NovaPharm a lot.
Yeah, me too.
MV Pre to me was nothing.
Really?
I didn't. Some people talk about how crazy stimulant.
Yeah.
I got nothing from it. It was just sort of. Certainly didn't get any DMHA type feeling from the biophytum at all. So I don't know.
I liked Limitless. That's a really good one. That gives some really, really solid tunnel vision from a NovaPharm, but I've never tried MV Pre or the MV Pre 2.0. It's kind of like I've heard really good things about it, but personally I've never tried it, so I can't, go one way or the other. But if you've tried it and didn't respond all that well to it, that's kind of a bummer.
There was absolutely no DMHA effect to it whatsoever. I have the Limitless, the old formula with DMHA and stuff in it.
Yeah.
That's a good product.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm sure that's the one they still have, isn't it? I mean, I don't think it's changed at all.
Well, I know the one I have is different than the one that they have out now. I got an old stock version of it. It's like probably one big brick at this point.
Performance blend, caffeine anhydrous, biophytum, CDP choline, Solastris. Oh, this one has the Pegapump in it. Okay, the one I have does not have the Pegapump.
I knew they redid it.
Yeah, they tweaked it slightly, but it's still got the biophytum in it.
Yep.
Which is Oh, and it also used to have.
I feel like it had 2 amino.
It had phenylpiracetam in it too.
Yeah,
which is freaking awesome. That was the
Yeah.
tunnel vision ingredient in that
Yes.
formula. I freaking love, and I've still got 2 tubs of it back there behind me.
Nice.
So I'm gonna just keep those and use those sparingly.
Yeah, I have some laying around here somewhere. This is getting out of control around here.
Speaking of Chris and the InnovaPharm team, they have a spin-off called NovaPump, and there's just an RO at the end of it now.
All right, so we're guessing Neuro.
Yes, very good. I wasn't going to say it myself since I've seen the profile and I know what the product is, but yeah. Yes, NovaPump Neuro will be coming out. So imagine NovaPump with some very well-dosed nootropics, and you can understand what you're going to get.
This would be the type of product that, like, if I had to buy my own supplements, I would buy this on pre-order type of thing, because NovaPump is such a good product. Yeah, awesome. And they just do certain things really well. They do the nootropic style, like I said, ever since Limitless and stuff like that. I don't want to say I guarantee this is going to be a good product, but I pretty much guarantee this is going to be a good product.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing has changed from the original NovaPump formula, so I'll say that all the pump ingredients from NovaPump are the same. Or when I saw the profile back in early September, it was the exact same pump ingredients were there, and they just added all fully dosed nootropics into it as well. So, yeah,
cool. What I don't understand. They've been using super spinach for a while. Why doesn't that Ron Kramer dude talk shit about their spinach?
I don't know. Maybe
He's scared of them?
Maybe so. Maybe Chris is a high roller. We don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm a huge fan of the NovaPharm formulas. Now they're going to the full transparency, because I think that was one tough part about their. Was it Duraline or whatever it was? Boy, that was just a big.
And Limitless is also a
shit show of prop blends, but they don't shortchange people. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a good product. I got a lot of faith.
Undisputed Pump it combines a heavy mix of carbs and creatine for a new pump pre-workout. Okay, it doesn't feature all right, so right up on Stacked, it says it doesn't feature your typical mix of pump ingredients. Undisputed Pump is primarily made up of carbohydrates and creatine. So
arginine, AKG.
Yes, you're getting, in a full serving, you get 22 grams of dextrose and then 11.5 grams of cornstarch, which is maltodextrin.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're getting probably 500 milligrams, if that, of alpha lipoic acid, a gram of arginine AKG, and 3 creatines. In pure, you're getting 1 gram of creatine, half a gram of creatine hydrochloride, and half a gram of creatinol O-phosphate. So the dose on
Is
creatinol O-phosphate is 2 grams you need. You need 3 to 5 grams of creatine. Arginine AKG isn't going to do shit. And then so you're paying a shit ton of money. You're paying $50 for 33 grams of sugar.
Yeah, I would say if you wanted to go this route, at least have the decency to use more creatine. Like this would have to be one of the most dirt cheap products that I've seen. But
Yeah.
is literally I like the inclusion of ALA. I like those the products I've used that are like intracarbs that also have GDA style ingredients, like Demode is one, Glycotrix is
Yeah.
another one. I like that. There is good for pumps, but I don't think ALA. This is
Yeah.
this shit. This
It's a
shit.
very,
50
very
bucks for some
bad
fucking.
formula.
Okay.
It's a horrible formula.
Parental advisory, explicit content.
Yeah.
Get ready for the Undisputed Pump. Well,
Yeah.
they spent more on the label than on the inside, but that's okay.
Right. Have you ever tried any of Muscle Sports proteins? I know they seem to be doing a lot with this lean whey. They release a ton of flavors for that.
Yeah, and actually they have. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. They let me try. They have a fruity cereal one. That's what the big thing. Like, if you see what they talk about, Jason over there, he's awesome. Knows how to make good formulas. He always talks shit. I don't want to say talk shit, but they made fruity cereal, like them and Man Sports were like, way back in the day, and now
Yeah.
everyone else. So I think they're making another fruity cereal formula. He's like, it's time for me to get back in this now that everyone else is like. But they had sent me a sample to try, and it was damn good. They do. I think they're proteins that I've tried. I tried the Fluffernutter one, that was good, and I tried their the fruity cereal one that's gonna be coming out. They're very good, very good.
Gotcha.
Very good products.
I've tried an old pre-workout of theirs when I was first getting into the industry. I think it was still had an amp citrate way back in the day. But I don't remember. I haven't tried anything of theirs in some time now.
They're pretty loaded. I had the King's Ransom, the Rhino. That was good. That was a good one.
Rhino, that's what it was. It was in an orange little sample packet that I had tried. Rhino. Yeah.
Right. Rhino's been around forever.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first like heavy dose, expensive kind of pre-workouts, where now it's like you see a lot of people just making the same thing basically.
Yeah. I'm gonna pitch this question to you. So each week we get together and we cover the latest formulas that hit the market, and we've seen, in just the short time that you and I have been doing these regular weekly podcasts together, we've seen just some companies revamp the exact same product a couple of times already, and So I was talking with Aaron at Performax about this because they've had Hypermax out for a couple of years now, and it still holds the top spot at Stack 3D as their number one pre-workout. And I know TJ over at Fitness Deal News really likes it too. My question is, if you were in that situation, would you feel the need to reformulate to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak? Or if you have something that is great, do you just ride it until either the ingredients that are in it get banned, or do you just ride it and say, we're never going to change this because it's that good? But at the same time, do you think you're running the risk of not remaining present in the spotlight of the public, since everybody's always wondering what's new, what's best, what's cool and trendy now?
I think that it's a huge mistake for companies to constantly reformulate a good thing. What you should do, in my opinion, what I would do, if I had Performax's Hypermax Extreme or something like that, like you talked about marketing budget, not all companies have a huge thing.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've talked extensively about with like Prady. This is Like he still only has one product, right?
Yeah.
If you have a product that you make and you're confident in it, then focus on that. Kill
Right.
kill that product. It's this need, and I get it. Like people do need refreshed, and sometimes like these limited edition stuff like that, it keeps people engaged.
Yeah.
But you can also, rather than revamping the whole thing,
Hmm.
I would just focus on creating a market around that product. I
Okay.
would concentrate on keeping people right rather than I don't see the point. Like I get it that but it's a very temporary thing where it's like
Yeah.
you make a new flavor or something like that and it gets people excited for, but it's
Right.
like there's no brand loyalty when it comes to pre-workouts. So rather than constantly changing them,
Hmm.
I would focus on like look at Ghost. Ghost has had the same. Now, granted, they've come out with a couple limited editions sort of over the years.
Yeah.
They've had the same pre-workout formula for years,
Yeah.
years.
They have.
They don't, and they've started to make some different formulas lately. But what they did first, the
Yeah.
smart thing that they did, and Redcon's another example too, where you make these products, you build the brand loyalty, you get people, and then worry about the other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, making people want to expand their lines to these massive lines so quickly anymore. I think that's a huge mistake. Like,
Yeah.
make one thing and focus on it and kill it. Build some loyalty with that,
Yeah.
and then start to branch out. It just seems like people are so eager to make new stuff where if they would just maybe focus on killing what they already do very well.
Yeah.
I'm just a huge believer in. It's kind of like let's use the analogy that you and I discuss all the time, where it's like, okay, I do Instagram every day
Yeah.
for Supplement Snoop, right? Now I get people that tell me all the time, well, you have to do YouTube also, you have to do Facebook, you have to do all this other stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to concentrate on Instagram, get that down, then maybe we can do, because once you start trying to do too many things, you
Yeah.
don't ultimately do one thing very well.
Right.
So I just am of the more conservative, thought of, you made a good product like that Hypermax Extreme. It's very inconsistent for me because of all the PEAs, and
Yeah.
it's got a lot of weird stuff going on there. I don't,
Hmm.
but it is a very good pre-workout. Just my opinion would be focus on that. Why make a protein powder? Why fucking waste all that time and effort on making protein
Yeah.
when you could be using that money to focus on your flagship product, building, say, a community, building brand loyalty. Like I said, look what Ghost has done. They built that
Yeah.
loyalty where no matter what they do now at this point, people are going to be excited for it. Like brands like Performax don't have that.
Right.
That's where I would be focusing. I would be
Yeah.
focusing on. I guess that was really like a long answer,
Yeah.
but I just
No,
don't.
that's perfect because another one that just came to mind is that Primeval is getting ready to re-release Mega Pre Black. They've been teasing some images of it on social media, and within the past year or so, I mean, they debuted
Yeah.
Ape Shit Cuts, which is a powdered thermogenic. They already have regular Ape Shit. They did Mega Pre Black, then they put that away and released Mega Pre Red. Now they're going back to Mega Pre Black. I just wonder, how many stimulant powders do you need?
Right.
And are you gaining anything by constantly releasing a new one, or should you just kind of milk one product for all it's worth? That's
Yeah.
something I don't understand from a business standpoint, and that there's people have different ways of running business, and obviously companies can experience success running a company many different ways. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't understand it as a consumer. If I have something that's really good, why mess with it? If you're constantly changing things or releasing new things, it comes across to me as that, are you just not happy with what you're releasing, or are you just trying to do a bunch of limited stuff?
Yeah, like look at Black Magic Supply. Berserk is a super popular pre-workout.
Yeah.
That came out. I mean, that came out probably, I don't know, had to been over a year ago.
Hmm.
Um, and they haven't touched that. Now, granted, they had to remove the DMHA,
Yeah.
but people consistently buy that product and people love it.
Hmm.
Now they did the limited Halloween flavor or the Halloween formula,
Yeah.
and that's cool. It gets maybe some new people involved and stuff like that. But if you have a pre-workout that's that popular, like Berserk is uber popular, people buy it month after month after month. Hypermax Extreme is very popular. I just don't understand. And like another example, Aries, because the slime edition, they just released Aries Super, just released it,
Right.
and now you already have a reformulation of it. It's like, it's just bizarre to me. I get it. Like maybe these companies just have too much money and they feel they have to spend it, but I would spend it on too much of that is just predicated on the quick sell for this month.
Yeah.
When it's like, if you have a product that can withstand the industry, then I would stick with it. Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
100%, man. 100%. All right, good. Well, thank you for your insight into that. That's something I've always been curious about. So I'm going to try to get multiple opinions on it. I had Aaron's. I wanted to get yours.
Sure, man. Well, I took some overtime today, so you asked me in a good time.
Good. Ooh, speaking of that, there may be special edition of that coming out.
Yeah, I talked to Robbie yesterday.
Okay, all right. So you heard about that. You heard about the good.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's about to go back to the motherland for a week or so.
Yeah, because him and I have been trying to get on the phone, and he goes, "Hey, just a couple minutes of your time." Mm-hmm. So an hour and a half later.
Oh yeah, man. It's never a short conversation with Robbie. It's awesome though, because I love talking to him.
Yeah, because I think Bare Knuckle's coming. He said he's gonna send me some Bare Knuckle, the new one.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I think he said this week.
Yeah, it should be this week. There was an issue with the manufacturer. They got some bad glycerol.
Fucking always issues with the manufacturer. My God, man.
Yeah.
The stories I could tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the manufacturer got some kind of shitty version of glycerol, and so the manufacturer told him, "Hey, we're not going to put this in the tub because it's going to brick immediately, and so we're going to get some new glycerol in here. We'll rerun a new batch and get it out ASAP."
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when I say that, I don't mean it's like always the manufacturer that does it. It's because a lot of what the manufacturer does is reliant on other people. They get their raws from somewhere. Yep. They don't know what they're gonna get. Yeah. Like it's such a shit show. So that's why, like, I think people constantly see, these brands. Like, where is that balance? Like these brands want to announce that they're doing stuff, but stuff is always delayed.
Right.
Always a mistake, and not necessarily the brand, but ultimately the brand is the one that pays the price because they're the ones that look foolish by announcing some stuff that ultimately doesn't happen. And even good brands like, we talk about Chris a lot, Inspired. Yeah. People want that multivitamin that he announced, a couple months ago, and because of one ingredient's holding up the entire show. He's just like, I mean, even someone that's been in the game as long as him and that knows his stuff, he's like, I got nothing. Yeah. So it's like it happens to everyone.
Yep.
So we'll see, because I'm excited to try. And I told Robbie this too. And for people that listen, that are Supplement Snoop group members, Robbie will be a part of our group moving forward. And we're going to talk about his products there. And then basically I explained to him, because he was like, well, how can I help you guys? He's like, I just love what you guys do. He loves you. He's like, because he said, actually, he goes, he's like, I don't really like, how did he put it? He's like, I'm just I do my own thing. He's like, but when Rob, supplement engineer, said that you were a good guy, he goes, he doesn't say that about anybody.
That's true.
He said, so he's like, I knew I should reach out to you. So
yeah,
he'll be part of the group, and we'll talk about their new products over there and stuff like that. And then that way, if anyone has questions, you can ask the source directly. So
yeah. And
he asked me a question about the group. He said, well, is it like, the other Facebook groups where it's just, people fight and talk shit? I was like, honestly, we've been doing that group for probably 7 months. I was like, I've never had to delete one post or one comment or even say anything to anyone. And he's like, you're full of shit. He's like, no way. And I was like, I'm telling you, man. I was like, it's true.
Yeah. It's
Wait a minute. What just happened here? I just got, hold on one second. I got a, fuck off. No way.
What?
So I just got an email that the Inspired multivitamin shipped out.
Hey, there you go. All right.
Shut the hell up. Oh my God, that's so funny. He did say the end of October, but he wouldn't announce it because he's like, man, I can't announce it because what if it doesn't happen?
Right.
I'm going to have to reach out to him on that. That was creepy. I see a notification pop up and your Inspired order shipped because I ordered 3 bottles and I've been waiting for like 2 months. And I'm like, if that's the multivitamin, okay.
Christmas came
So
early for you.
anyway, everyone, if you ordered the Inspired multivitamin, be on the lookout for it. I'm gonna have to tell them about that. That's creepy.
Yeah. Do you think brands should, along the lines of protein, and everybody's getting in the protein game, do you think every brand should get into the multivitamin game? Since there's so many, not even just supplement brands like the performance boosting brands that we usually talk about on the podcast, but there are just, in the general health and fitness community, there's a shit ton of multivitamins out there. Do you think brands should do anything like this? Like, I know Morphogen's got a multivitamin, Inspire's got a multivitamin, Primeval's got a multivitamin, Redcon has their own. Is it worth it for these brands to get into it? And is it, I guess it's playing into the mindset of, hey, well, I'm buying my pre-workout from you guys, so I might as well buy my multivitamin too.
Yeah, I do. And I mentioned this. This was probably about a year ago. I mentioned I wanted to see these companies with these resources and this knowledge get involved in the multivitamin game because at this point you're relying on Centrum and all this bullshit like grocery store brands. And then what the grocery store brands do is they say, oh, this is a multivitamin plus greens, and then it's like 25 milligrams of greens and stuff like that. And people just fall for that stuff because they don't read it.
Right.
So I think it's huge. I think what First Form was probably one of the earlier adopters to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think brands saw how successful First Form was being, and they're like, okay, we can kind of do better.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good idea because you know what? Granted, you get the oversaturation and stuff like that, but I think if someone's already on your site, I think it's good for them to see that you sell a multivitamin.
Yeah.
Or like those, because it puts it into their head that it's important. You know what I mean? So, but I get what you're saying too, maybe suggesting like, do we really need it? But I think I would rather see a company, I would guess that multivitamins would be a lot cheaper to make than a protein powder.
Yeah, they're very, very cheap to make. Especially if you use the shitty forms of minerals too. Use like magnesium oxide and all that.
Yeah, and the Inspired one, I know that's what he said they use, because then there's a tricky part too with the Inspired one. Chris and I actually did a live together where we discussed, because there's a lot about that multivitamin that he wanted to explain, because they use some really rare forms and some ones that actually have shown bioavailability and things like that. So we wanted to talk about that because that plays into it too. It's like we have these conversations about probiotics and enzymes and multivitamins. It's like they're all great, but are we really getting what we're hoping to be getting from these things? So it's like when I see better companies that understand that we need to use, say, maybe better forms of stuff, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of whey protein, I know we talked about, I did get another thing. NutriBio sent me the chocolate peanut butter bliss classic whey.
Oh, have you tried that yet?
Yes, I have. That was very nice.
Was it? It's good?
Because, it's the concentrate. The classic whey is the concentrate.
Yeah.
So chocolate peanut butter concentrate, that they're going to do that.
That's good. Okay. I tried their strawberry shortcake classic whey. And that one, that tastes more like a strawberry yogurt almost.
Tastes like cheesecake to me.
Yeah. It didn't come across as the shortcake bars that I think it was trying to go for.
Yeah, I was the same way. I tasted it, and actually I didn't look at the label. I did briefly looked at the flavor, and when I tried it, I was like, man, this is a good strawberry cheesecake. And I was actually talking to Tim from Natural Body Inc. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's a good strawberry cheesecake. And I'm looking, I was like, wait, it's not strawberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
It's strawberry shortcake. I was like, tastes like cheesecake to me. So, but yeah, this one's good. I think people will. Chocolate peanut butter bliss. Do you think that they have too many flavors?
NutriBio?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be mind-numbing to keep up with as many SKUs as they have. I think there are so many there, and now they're uniquely positioned, like a few other select companies are, that they do all their own manufacturing. So it's probably easier to keep track of it there than to source out a contract manufacturer and then have to get a warehouse to store all of that in, and then handle shipping back and forth between all of those things. But still, that is a big point.
that it would be probably easier. But I mean, just from a customer perspective, it's like, man, you came out with like 4 strawberry-flavored proteins like within
Yeah, I think
like a
it's
month or two.
oversaturation. I
Yeah,
would verge on that because if I'm a customer, I'm only probably going to buy one, maybe 2 tubs of protein per month. And
right.
by the time it's time for me to re up my order, you're going to have released 6 other flavors in that time span. So there's going to be ones that fall through the gaps, and then probably they're going to be limited edition runs. So they'll be sold out by the time you're ready for your next purchase and ready to go back to some of the older flavors that were released. So,
But to your point, I think it would, right. It would be so much quicker for them to switch over
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like, oh, we can run this. As you know, how companies have to order ahead of time
yeah,
so much, they can be much more hands-on with, oh, we just need to run this amount, this amount, this amount kind of
right.
thing. So it's sure it's a lot easier. Well, definitely.
Yeah,
So
or if Mark, wakes up in the middle of the night and he says, I want Neapolitan flavored protein powder, he can just walk into the shop the next day and run a batch of it.
right.
Um, so it's, yeah, I think they have a lot of SKUs just in general. They've got so many because they do a bunch of single ingredient stuff. They do a bunch of formulas. They've got various flavors in all of their formulas. So I can't imagine it's easy to keep track of everything that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and so you got any plans to go there to visit their new
NutriBio?
yeah,
At some point, yes, I do need to get back up there because when
it's
we
pretty
were up
cool.
there for the Apollon thing, there was not time to go over there. That trip was booked solid. I still feel like I'm playing catch up from that weekend, and then the following weekend was supply side, so I feel like I'm still playing catch up from those 2 weeks.
Well,
So
we'll go up there at the same time because we got to get up there again too, and it's cool, man. It's a very eye-opening experience,
yeah,
and they have quite an operation. You go through their office area and stuff like that, and yeah, they're busy. They're
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
They're a busy company. I think
That's all the major stuff that I saw. We've covered just about everything. Uh, let's touch this. Man Sports has released Isoamino, their coffee creamer ones before.
mm-hmm.
That product's been out for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think it's wise to put it to a popular vote and decide which flavor gets released? Do you think that's a smart idea? Because the
I
options are peppermint mocha, s'mores, or caramel macchiato.
The reason why, so on the surface, it would be a good idea, right?
Yeah,
Because you're right, you're asking specifically who's going to buy it, what they want. But I don't think that these people that vote on these things buy it.
yeah,
Like you just get people that don't have shit else to do, so they just click on some stuff.
right.
Um, I don't think they're buying it. I would be, I think what I would do is I would send out maybe an email or something like that to people that have bought my
Yeah.
products before
Hmm.
and ask them, um, rather than making it a. But Man Sports, I like those. They're cool. I've never had one of their products. Never.
I tried Game Day, a version, probably from 2015 or 2016. I still had DMHA in it, and it kicked ass. Brainbridge is their nootropic. It was okay, but I could have used a little bit more caffeine in it, or instead of them going with the super slow releasing caffeine,
Right.
uh, go with a more hard hitting one or less theanine ratio, or just optimize that ratio a bit. Um, so yeah, but I'm reading through the thing now, and it says helps them decide. Really, I think all this is they'll maybe collect some of the votes, but it's going to be ManSports ultimately making the decision on which flavor gets done. And I think they're using this just to capture email addresses and build out their mailing list. Is what I really, because you have to enter your email address in order to submit your vote.
That personal data is much more valuable than anything else.
Yeah,
I'll just stop right there. But yes, that's because it's funny because we get negative reviews on the app because you have to create an account and use your email address and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, you're just stealing our data and stuff," and I'm like, "How can I explain to you that I don't give a fuck about your data?
yeah,
It's what you have to do. It's like a requirement,
right,
like for Apple and stuff like that." But I'm like,
yeah,
but I get why people feel that way. I mean, it is like I'm sure our email list for Supplement Snoop is very valuable to someone, but uh, it's just not where my head's at. But it is. I mean, what is it? I think someone was telling me. I think Nick from Rage was telling me that Redcon does 500 million impressions a month. just beat them down, man. Just beat
That's
them down,
true.
and eventually they'll buy something.
Yeah, I mean, I know they send out a lot of newsletters. I mean, it's basically one or two a day, it seems like.
hmm I don't get them anymore. I don't get any more voicemails from Aaron Singerman either. That was
No?
when I drew the line. Like I said, I don't have an axe to grind with Redcon. I think some of the things they do is absolute shit. Um, but and don't get me wrong, I think it's probably brilliant in a marketing perspective. But I was like, when you start leaving me voicemails, like I'm like, that's fucking weird. So
Yeah, or random text messages.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get a lot of text
Emotional
messages.
text messages, yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny too because I'll get text messages from brand owners that I know very well,
Yeah.
and I'll just screenshot it and send it to them. I was like, "Stop doing this." Sorry, man. We just, it goes out to everyone, and I'm like, "Just stop it."
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it, man. I mean, it's smart. Just keep in front of people.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. All right. It is Halloween, sir, today, and we'll end on this. The
mm.
13th floor has finally unveiled their new line of supplements. So
Didn't we talk about them like a couple weeks ago?
we talked the profiles. I don't think had been released yet. They had just advertised
Right.
that they were coming out, and now Stack 3D. They just all the products just landed up on Stack's front page.
Oh, just now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've got 4 products that they're launching with, and there's 5 listed. So
Oh, I did see someone showed me the Sandman one.
yeah. So let's get your you'll get your thoughts on that, and then
All right, so
we'll
we got
go
to go to
after
their
there.
website, eh?
Yes.
All right.
Or I
It was
mean, you can read
back.
it on the Stack site too. It'll have it either way.
It has all their formulas on
Yeah.
Stacksite?
Yeah.
Oh, each individual link. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd probably just be easier on the site. Okay. Okay, let's start with my favorite. My favorite category. Supernatural testosterone amplifier kaiju. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Ashwagandha, not KSM, but standardized to 2.5% with analoids, with analytes. I've had this conversation with people. I've seen KSM, I swear, at 2.5. I've seen it at 5%.
Let me see.
But I've seen it at both, I swear. It's okay. That's good. Fenugreek, that's kind of low. I think 500 milligrams was the fenugreek study that actually showed some testosterone support for men that were older.
Yeah.
Mucuna is always a cool ingredient. Shilajit, that's kind of a low dose. Dim is pretty low. It's not horrible, but they use some good ingredients. Some of them are just low for my taste. It is capsules though, right? 3 capsules.
Yes.
They don't use, so they're not using any, although they're using LJ100, but it doesn't have the trademark symbol on it.
Hmm. Interesting.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it
And
looks like a little label oversight.
Shilajit either.
Yeah.
Shilajit's cool, but I think it's like 250 milligrams of Shilajit.
Well, and it's misspelled too. It's just Shiljit instead of Shilajit. So KSM is 5% with analytes.
Yeah, and I swear I've seen some people try to put it off at 2.5%, and it's like
generics are at 2.5, and then Sensoril is at 10%.
10. Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember Central. Yeah. That's 10%. So I always do say, I was like, you can tell a lot about a company from their pre-workout, right? So betaine anhydrous 2.5 grams, agmatine 2 grams, 1.6 beta-alanine, 1.2 creatine HCl, S7, halostation. That the only company I ever see use that is Myoblocks.
Yeah, I thought Muscle Sport used it in an old version of Rhino, maybe, too. But that's one of those ingredients that I don't think does a whole hell of a lot of anything.
So you're looking at 400 milligrams of caffeine, some synephrine, cayenne, yohimbine at 2 milligrams.
98%, so 1.8 milligrams, I guess. That you're going to get, or 1.6.
So here's the thing. Here's my thoughts. It's fine, right? This is a very average. So, Project Legion, body and mind altering pre-workout with the injectable syringe
Mm-hmm.
flavor on it. And this, oh, wait a minute. What the fuck is this? What is this? So it says on the label on the package 30 servings. On the label itself, it says 1 scoop, 20 servings per container.
Ooh, that's a
These
mind fuck.
are bad oversights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
put it this way,
that's a major gaffe.
I would never buy a product from a company that does this, especially when these are ingredients you can find literally like anywhere.
Yeah.
Just looking at that, those oversights shows that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, there seems to be some major oversights there, I would agree. And I wonder if there's any, it's called Project Legion. Is that going to be any kind of like legal entanglements with Legion Athletics?
Get Mike on the case.
Yep. Speaking of which, I'll be talking to him next Wednesday. We'll be doing
another one?
A part 2 podcast going over
Cool.
content creation and writing about that kind of stuff. So we didn't get to touch on that the first time we spoke. So yeah, this will be all about content creation, reading, writing styles, all that kind of stuff.
Mike is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mike's awesome. That is a smart dude that does some killer content.
Agreed. All right, and I'll get you out of here on this, my friend. Are you a Halloween fan?
No.
Not really. I was going to say, do you have a favorite horror movie, and are you doing anything tonight for Halloween?
We could talk about that. Because, like, I mean, I like Halloween in and of the fact, like, we like to pass out candy, and, like, when we sold our house and moved away from where I grew up, we had an awesome neighborhood for Halloween. Yeah. Like, our neighborhood was the shit. And kids are super excited, and we would always have a lot of fun, but I don't like to, like, dress up and stuff like that. But my wife is very anti, like, scary movies. She just doesn't.
Yeah, Sandy's the
same
way.
The funny thing is like there's a lot of scary movies that'll come out, and I'll tell you a funny story. Like when we first moved into our house, it was like a 1919, like big old but like really like beautiful house, right?
Cool.
And we stayed there, and she would travel to the Caribbean all the time.
Yeah.
For work, and she traveled out of town.
Yeah.
And so when she would go out of town, like I'll watch the movies that maybe she didn't want to watch. Yeah. And I remember I was gonna I can't remember exactly what scary movie it was. And we're in this like new house, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll rent like a comedy or something like that. But I think someone asked me about like what was my favorite scary movie. Mm-hmm. The scariest movie I've ever seen is The Exorcist. Exorcist still to this day. Yeah, I don't like that movie. That movie is horrifying.
Yes, it is.
The original Halloween is still super creepy because like we watch a lot of like older Halloween or older like horror movies like The Shining is an example I can think of. That The Shining has this amazing reputation. It's not scary. Like it's kind of weird.
It's
like,
creepy.
Jack Nicholson's great, you know what I mean? But it's not a scary movie. But man, Exorcist will never not be horrifying to me.
Yeah, it's
that movie scary as shit.
Yeah, I grew up on horror movies, so my dad had all the old monster movies. So from like the age of 5, I would say, or 5, maybe I was a little bit older, like 6 or 7. I was watching like the old Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy. So I love horror movies. I love all the older classic monster movies. I like the movies up into the 70s, like Black Christmas, Halloween, When a Stranger Calls, The Exorcist. Those go. You name my top 2 horror movies. If somebody says what's your favorite one, it's either gonna be the original Halloween, or The Exorcist. And they're both very creepy. The Exorcist is scary as sin.
The movie's scary as hell.
Note the pun there. Yes. It is. It's an awesome movie. And since Sandy and I are Catholic, so that movie even hits home just a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
And so I remember when talking to the priest, they said, "Yeah, there is a certified exorcist in every parish." And I thought, "What?
Right? Like this is real? Yeah." Well, it was funny. So the first time I watched that movie, I was at my buddy's house, and we were like down in his basement, which was like super creepy anyway.
Yeah.
And he had like a black light plugged in, and we're sitting there, right? And we watch this movie, and we're teenagers, at the time. I'm horrified, right? We're watching it on like VHS. So this is like a long time ago, and the movie ends, and it sort of like goes to black, and we're both just sitting there like in silence, like afraid to like move. So then all of a sudden, I swear to God, man, this still traumatizes me. He's got the black light plugged in, and I see out of the corner of my eye, it like falls apart. The plug falls out, so it goes pitch black in the whole entire room, and the light is like on the other end, like the actual light is on the other end, and I was like, I'm not going. I am not going over there, man. There's no way. I'm not moving. So that still traumatizing me a little bit.
Man, it's still
that freaking light fell out of there, man. As soon as that movie was over with, that light unplugged itself, and still scares the shit out of me.
That's modern horror movies, I think, overstep the boundaries, and they make it too graphic or too gory. I think the less you show, the scarier it is, because the original Halloween, the original Friday the 13th, it wasn't super gore fests. I mean, the later iterations of it, it was just nothing but hacking the stupid teenagers that were getting drunk or having sex or doing drugs or whatever to pieces. But the original ones, they showed very little actual gore or nudity or anything like that. It was the creepiness of it.
Atmosphere. Atmosphere.
Original Psycho was really good too.
They do too many jump scares. I think when you rely just on jump scares, it's not scary. It's just shock value. So it's like, I think I haven't watched anything. I think like the last like really good scary movie I watched was The Conjuring.
I had not seen that.
That's a pretty creepy movie. Okay. It was good. But it's very atmosphere.
Sweet, I'll make sure to turn the lights down low and just watch it.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting it actually is Halloween today. But man. Yeah. We'll check some stuff out tonight, I'm sure.
Cool. All right, man. Well, then, this was good as always. Thank you for the chat.
Dog.
Happy Halloween, and we'll do this again.
All right, brother. I will. I'm sure I'll talk to you.
Yep. All right, bud.
All right. Bye. See you, bud.